Sales here again with another quick opinion. Just watched a video by RPG Pundit about how to improve the fighter class, because they kind of suffer in most OSR games and in most games in general, especially as you move toward higher levels. And he inadvertently made a point to me that I thought was worth noting, that the OD&D type of game, OSR game, not AD&D, but original D&D, has a piece of genius in it that still is useful today, 40, 50 years after the game was invented. In original Dungeons & Dragons, you basically could tell if someone was a cleric, you could tell if someone was a magic user, and you could tell if someone was a fighter. But the genius of this is a fighter's just a guy wearing armor hanging around. And you can't tell by looking at him necessarily what he's capable of. So what I think would be a great fix for the fighter today is you get rid of thieves, you get rid of rangers, you get rid of all of these subclasses and classes that are related to that, and you go back to the original system where you're a magic user, you're a cleric, or you're another guy. And that other guy might have skills in picking locks, he might have incredible fighting skills, he might have all kinds of other skills not related to using a sword or an axe in combat. Or he just may be really good with that sword or axe in combat. And the way you could implement this in an OSR style game is that you give them a whole bunch of skills that they can just choose as they advance, or they can improve their skills as they advance. And if you add on to this a slightly alternate hit point system, which I'm going to do some OSR gaming, and I think I'm going to try this, where everybody's hit points are their starting constitution roll, plus they get that hit dice that goes along with it, and that's your hit points. They don't increase as you improve. So you can have a fighter at 10th level who can straight up kill a magic user in one blow if he's improved his damage doing and his two hitting abilities and concentrating on his core fighting skills. Or you could have a fighter who maybe isn't quite that great at combat, but he knows how to pick a lock and he's good at detecting traps. You have to scale the monster hit points to match. But the beauty of this would be is not only would combat be fast and deadly, I mean, you stab somebody with a sword, they tend to die, and that would be cool to mirror in your game. If a guy who knows how to use a sword competently stabs you, you're likely going to die or be seriously injured in any case. With the system I'm talking about, I think you would have that. And that would give the fighter, I think, equal power at higher levels in adventuring scenarios, and would definitely make you wonder a little when you encounter a guy. I mean, these days in games, if you encounter a guy, he's wearing green, he carries a bow, he's a ranger. If he's wearing leather, he's probably a thief. But you wouldn't know that. You could easily have a guy who's wearing chainmail, or even plate, I suppose, who could take his gauntlets off and pick a lock. Might be really good at listening because he's practiced his listening skills. It would add a lot of uncertainty, which I think is more reflective of, quote, real life, and it would give the fighters tremendous variety. And there's a lot of ways you could go on this. Just a quick thought on how to change your OSR game up a little bit, using an idea that's enshrined in OD&D, you know, before they had the thief class, before they had the paladin class, before they had all these other classes, where you can still have those capabilities, but it's not as segregated, it's not as limiting, and I think it would make the game better. Tell me what you think in the comments. Thanks for listening.